Hello and welcome back to Issues That Matters. I'm your host today, Big Sister Rashida at Omega Studios ATL. I'm so excited about today's topic, basically because I feel it's well overdue to appreciate the heroes living amongst us. I don't know what you feel about that, but I'm extremely excited about celebrating our heroes. So the topic for today is the unsung heroes in our lives. Do you know someone in your family that needs to be celebrated? Or someone who the family knows that he or she is the rock that either started the foundation, that kept the family together, or that changed your life in any kind of way? Or let's say it may just be someone that you look up to, or you have chosen to keep a strong relationship with, because during the good times or bad times, they're always a positive role model in your life. Once again, today's topic is the unsung hero in our lives. So please help me welcome one of the unsung heroes in my life. After God, after my parents, after my hubby, you know, she is one of the person that I highly look up to and respect. Basically because her journey, when I think of her journey is a story that really impacts me as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and as an entrepreneur. So welcome my mother-in-law, Alaja Wasilat Adeyemo. Alaja Ekaro. Ṣé okay ma? Okay, it's the dárúkọ yín fún everybody láti bọ̀.
Ekaro gbogbo ilé. Èmi ni Alaja Wasilat Adeyemo. Ojúrí.
She says Ojúrí. All right. Alaja, question tá máa kọ́kọ́ bi yín ni pé, you know, before I go into the questions of asking her, I just want to say a little bit about my mother-in-law, which is, you know, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Alaja. But from her being the only surviving child now of her mother, to eventually getting married with 9 children, to being an entrepreneur, she is such an amazing woman. She owns a restaurant. And from that, they named her Iyabodi, to now live it in America. I'm very, very proud of her. So Alaja is a very compassionate human being that is very passionate about couples. She fights for the rights of married couples. She teaches mother-in-laws to embrace their children's spouse and butt out of the couple's marriage, because 4 is a crowd. Because marriage is usually between husband, wife, and God. So 4 is a crowd. So right now, I'm going to get Alaja into talking a little bit about how she started, when she got married, how was it for her, and how she was able to juggle being married, being an entrepreneur, being a mother, and all that good stuff. So Alaja.
Yes.
Funny, yes. Ibo ni ìlú yín Nigeria now.
Èkó ni wọ́n bí mi sí.
Èkó.
Ní Ìsàlẹ̀ Gàngàn.
Ìsàlẹ̀ Gàngàn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà bí mi sí. Ṣùgbọ́n bàbá mi Ìbàdàn ni bàbá mi.
Okay.
Ìbàdàn náà ti wá sí Èkó.
Seko, okay.
Ilé wa wà lánìkan tá mọ̀ number 15.
Okay, wow, tí ẹ ṣe rántí. Okay.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà bí mi sí.
Ibẹ̀ náà bí yín sí. And grown up, ngbà tẹ́ ń dàgbà, torí ẹ ṣàlàyé fún mi pé ọmọ ṣé méje ni mọ́mì bí.
Ìyá mi bí.
Okay.
Mo gbọ́njú mọ́ àwọn méjì, àwa jẹ́ mẹ́rin.
Ẹ wá jẹ́ mẹ́rin.
Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn méjì tí mo mọ̀ yẹn wọ́n ti ṣaláìsí.
Wọ́n ṣaláìsí. Okay.
Ìkan Yẹ̀kínì, ìkan Símbì.
So ẹ̀yin lẹ wá kù nsìn.
Èmi ni àwa méjì la kù. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kú bí ọdún 15 sísìn wá kẹ́mi nìkan.
Ó wá kẹ́yìn nìkan.
Ọlọ́run má ṣe nílé mi nìkan.
Ọlọ́run ní ṣe ilé àti pọ̀ sí i. Àti pọ̀ sí i. Okay, Alaja, another topic that fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ dating. Gbàtẹ́ àti ẹ̀tí débi ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ọkọ, ọ̀rọ̀ tí láti ẹ̀ṣin sọ́ọ̀sì. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí láti ẹ̀ṣin sọ́ọ̀sì. Ọ̀rọ̀ gbàtẹ́ yìí náà gbọ́njú mọkùnrin. You know, gbàtẹ́ gbọ́njú mọkùnrin, ọkọ tẹ́ fẹ́. Why? Kí ló jẹ́ kẹ́ fẹ́ ọkùnrin yẹn báwo lẹ ṣe mọ̀ pé òun gangan lọkọ yín.
ẹ̀yin Ọlọ́run ìdìnnà srantali mustaqim afinimọ̀nà lọ́lọ́run Ọlọ́run ló máa ń fi yàn mọ̀nà torí pé bàbá ẹni tí wọ́n kọ́ fẹ́ mo ṣèyàwó gbáka gbíyàn mo wá bímọ kan síbẹ̀ ọmọ yẹn wá ń síìkì ṣùgbọ́n ìyàwó tí bàbá ọkọ mi fẹ́ ń bọ́kọ mi sùn.
Okay, so the interpretation of what she said is that the guy that she first met, she said God is the one that helps you to know who to marry in life. And the guy that she first met, you know, they were together, they did their wedding, they did all that good stuff, but then eventually he started cheating. He started doing other things. Okay.
Nígbà tí mo wá ká wọn mọ́ ló bá ní tí n bá sọ̀rọ̀ máa ká mi dé sọ̀rọ̀.
Ṣé ọkọ yín?
Ọkọkọ o.
Ìyàwó ẹni tó fẹ́?
Ìyàwó bàbá kò fẹ́ ìyàwó bàbá ẹ̀ ni. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣáà ni kó máa bounce mo wá ká wọn mọ́.
Okay, the thing of that story is she caught her husband cheating. And in the midst of of them cheating, they told her not to say anything, that if she said anything, she'd be in trouble. So she didn't say anything. So she wá ń fẹ́ra yín náà lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn.
Láàrin ẹ̀ ọmọ yẹn gbà tọ́mọ mi wá kú.
Okay.
Ọmọ yẹn kú ọmọ ọdún méjì.
Ọmọ mélòó lẹ ti bí ńgbà yẹn?
Ìyẹyọ kan yẹn náà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ti bí àwọn ọmọ kí yẹn tó kú.
Àkọ́bí mi nìyẹn first born.
Àkọ́bí yín nìyẹn.
Mo sẹ́ndíkù Aládé.
Okay.
Nígbà tó wá tí ọmọ yẹn kú.
Tọ́mọ yẹn wá ṣaláìsí.
Mo ṣe kúrò ńbẹ̀ ni.
Okay. So in her first relationship with the guy, her husband, she had a child for that husband, and that child passed away. And when that child eventually passed away is what made her leave that first marriage because of what was going on. Okay.
Àti mo wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ ìyá mi.
Yeah.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ṣe rí bàbá àwọn ọmọ mi tí mo fẹ́ yẹn ní Ìbàdàn lóhùn.
Okay.
Máa mú lọ bá àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi yá inú wọn ti ẹ̀dùn wọn ní à pé aráàlú mi ni mo ti fẹ́.
Okay.
Ó dẹ̀ tọrọ mi.
Bàbá àwọn Kẹ́hìndé àgbà ni.
Ó dáná. But tilẹ̀ ó ṣe bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ní Yorùbá.
Okay. So when she now left the first guy, after what he was messing around and her child had passed away, she left the first guy, she went to her mom. And during the time of being with her mom, you know, she met her second guy. Now, when she took the second guy to her mom, he's from Ibadan, the family loved him, they really appreciated him. He did the necessary traditional things that he needed to do in order to marry her as his wife. And then
Ṣáàfẹ́, mo á bímọ. Mo bí
Tóyìn.
Mo bí Jókòtọ́lá mọ̀.
Jókòtọ́lá mọ̀.
Ó dẹ̀ sọ fún mi pé òun ti níyàwó rí tó lọ sógun Ìtìlà.
Okay, wow.
Pé ó yàgbà tóun tógun dé ìyàwó yẹn tán ní kóun fẹ́. Ó gbárédè. Ó dàbí tèmi náà. Ṣùgbọ́n mi ò bọ́ sí ló wá fi fẹ́ mi. Láti ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ mi mo bí kínní. Olóhùn ní níyàwó mi o, mo bí kejì tó bá ti ń bímọ fún un. Nígbà tọmọ kejì dọdún kan bó ṣe lọ fẹ́ yàwó lé mi. Ẹni tó wá fẹ́ lé mi ó jù mí lọ.
Oh wow.
A bá ṣàbẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pọ̀. Àwọn àǹtí mi ní kí n lọ kẹ́rù mi kí n máa bọ̀. Ìyá mi wá ní kí n má dà wọ́n lóhùn kí n jókòó ni. Pé kò dá kéèyàn máa bímọ káàkiri. Ọmọ máa kú ni.
Okay. So when the second guy that she met and they got married and they had children, she's explaining that when they got married, he had promised that he was not going to cheat. He had promised that he would not marry another woman. But after she had the first child there, the second child, by the third child, he started cheating. She said her friends were telling her to leave and to pack her bags, but eventually what happened, her mother told her to stay there. Have the children that you want there, and don't start messing around and moving around. So...
Àti wá bí ìyá yìí yẹn tí ìyá mi ní ń bá lọ jókòó mi ń bá tún lóyún ń bá tún bímọ àsọmọ yẹn ní Lábísí ọmọ yẹn kú lọ́mọ oṣù méjì. Màmá mi ní kí n ṣá lọ jókòó mo ṣáà jókòó mo ṣáà ń ṣiṣẹ́ mi ó tún fẹ́ yàwó mi ó tún fẹ́ síta ẹni tó ń bá mi ṣe irun mi onídìrí mi ó tún fẹ́.
Alájà ní sùúrù ṣé nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe ń gbà yẹn ni.
Nǹkan ṣe ń gbà yẹn nìyẹn mo ṣáà jókòó wọ́n á sọ fún màmá pé mo fẹ́ kúrò lọ́dọ̀ ọkùnrin màmá nírọ́ kí n lọ jókòó ni téèyàn bá jókòó sílé ọkùnrin kò sí nǹkan tó ń bọ̀ téèyàn ò ní rí bá jókòó bá ṣà ń ṣe ni mo kí ni mo ń tà ń gbà yẹn ewédú ẹ̀fọ́.
Okay. So at her husband's house at the time, she was also an entrepreneur. She was basically selling ewedu, which is called is like leaf, is like it draws ewedu, and then she was selling ewedu atikini. Bure, stuff like that. Okay. So her mom told her to stay at that husband's house and have the children that she wants to have at that husband's house. Okay.
But you mo yẹn wá bá tún lóyún. Mo lóyún ní 1962. But 1962 ni mo bí wọn láàrin ẹ̀ náà ni. Mo ṣe lóyún àwọn kan inde ni. Lóbìnrin bá tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bá mi jà. Mo tún lọ lóyún àwọn ìyá akọ mi wọ́n wà lẹ́yìn yẹn. Ba ìyá akọ mi yẹn kò bímọ. Ọkọ ẹ̀ kú. Ó wá lóhùn bọ̀. Ọkọ mi lóhùn ò gbàlejò. Mo ní kò dáa. Bá dé kù àárọ̀ ọkọ. Àṣé wàhálà ni. Bá dé adé nǹkan sí mi lọ́rùn.
So basically what happened was that her mother told her to stay. She got pregnant again. And the girl that her husband was cheating with, she was not able to conceive. So it became an issue in the home. They were both living together. There you are. It was a lot. She went through a lot in that marriage. But okay. So she has 7 children with that husband, and it was left with 6. If we go on and on with what really happened there, you guys can really understand when she says, "Wala po." It was a lot going on during that time. So, a friend of hers was having her father's funeral. And because it was just so much issue, you know, she really mentally didn't say that she was going to leave the guy because her mom kept telling her to stay there. But she went out because Alaja is only 5G. She likes to chill out.
Yeah,
she likes to go out. So she basically went to her friend's father's funeral, which is a party in Nigeria. And when she got there is when she met a guy. Okay.
Hey! She said,
she said that when she got to the party, she met the guy, and the guy really, really liked her, and he was like, "Look, I'm gonna marry you whether you like it or not." She was like, "No, I already have 6 children." And he was like, "I don't even care if you have 10 children. You don't have my children with those children." So he gonna marry, he said he's gonna marry her regardless.
And
the other house is hot. The house where she has 6 children is hot with a lot of heat. And then the guy just said, "I'm going to marry you regardless." Oh, wow. 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 So basically what happened was that he invited, her friends was telling the guy that wanted to date her that she has too many children already. Why do you want to date or marry somebody who already has so many children? He says he don't care. He's going to marry her. And then he told her to come meet him at the office. She went to the office to meet him. And he says he's not playing. He really wants to marry her. That the way he has seen her, he sees that she has good aura. She has, you know, she looks like a very, very good person. And he wants her to have his children as well. So, and the other house that she was living, as we know, you know, there's another woman there. And there's a lot of story going on there. So she eventually now, she moving, Baba Makuni.
àní ọ̀rọ̀ máàkó náà ni mò ń sọ yìí ṣá níjọ́ yẹn mo lọ bá lọ́fíìsì ló bá fún mi ní 5,000.
5,000 naira.
mo ní owó rẹ̀.
Owó rẹ̀.
Má lọ bá ìyá mi, mo ní ìyá mi bàbá kan mo rí Abẹ́òkúta ni ó mà ló ń fẹ́ mi owó tó fún mi rèé. Màmá ní rírò ń tèèyàn ṣíṣe
ní tọ́lọ́run.
Ọlọ́run bá ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n kí tẹ̀ fi ra mi lọ́kàn balẹ̀ ń bá ní ní ò bá wá mi ní ò bá wá wà lọ ṣá nínú pàǹjà tó ń parí ìjà ní bá tún lóyún Lábísí.
Oh Lord, okay, all right. So after he now said he wanted to marry her, when she came to the office, he gave her 5,000 naira at that time. And this is about close to 50 years ago. He gave her 5,000 naira at that time. She ran to her mom and said, wow, this is a lot of money. And she said that the guy said he wanted to marry her. And she was like, and the mother said no, that, you know, men proposes, but God disposes, and let God do what he needs to do. That all of a sudden, the guy that gave her the 5,000 naira, he didn't look for her anymore. She didn't look for him. She went back to
her first
pound. Okay, it was pound. It wasn't naira then. So she went back to her so-called husband's house, and she got pregnant again with Lábísí. Lábísí Lábígbẹ̀yìn.
Lábísí.
Okay.
Òun wá pè mí, èmi náà pè. Ó wá di ọjọ́ kan mo wá lọ sí Mushin. Mo dùn mí tó báyìí. Ló bá rí mi, ló bá dá mọ́tò dúró. Nígbà tí mo sá, ó ní kí n má sá. Ó lásìkò tí ìtù.
Ìyá.
Pé mi ní fẹ́ wọn nírọ̀ ni. Ní ẹkùn bá mi wá nǹkan, ló bá tún fún mi 1,000.
Wow.
Kò bọ́ lẹ́nu mọ́tò o. Èmi náà ò wọ mọ́tò ló bá lọ. Mo tún délé mo ní màmá. Ẹ̀rọ ọkùnrin tí mo wí yẹn, mo máa rí lẹ́nìí. Ẹ̀rí bí inú tí oyún ti doṣù méje ni màmá ní kí n má wọ̀ rí. Ló bá ń jọyìn ló bá ní òun wá. Ẹni tó máa bá òun wà lọ́fíìsì. Òun wá kọ̀wé. Ọmọ láńlọ́ọ̀dù mi láti ó dẹ̀ kàwé. Ó ti jáde ìgbà yẹn ìwé 8 ló wà láyé. Ó ti jáde ńgbà yẹn ló wá lóhùn wá ṣe nígbà yẹn. Ọmọ láńlọ́ọ̀dù mi ṣé kí n mú wá? Ó ní kí n júwe fún un. Bá mo lọ bá.
Let me gist you guys about the story that she's saying is that when she now got pregnant from her husband, her husband that she had 6 children with, she got pregnant with the 6th child after all the 5,000 naira that was given to her from the other guy. And then she said she was, now the 6th child was about 7 months old. She went to the market to buy something, and the man was driving by, and all of a sudden the man saw her. And then the man said, don't run away from me. Don't worry about it. It's not time. It's not God's time for us to be together yet. And then he gave her 1,000 pounds again. And then she ran home to her mom and said, Mom, I'm 7 months pregnant. This guy, again, I saw him, and he gave me 1,000 pounds. And then he says, you know, you're going to marry, I'm going to marry you regardless of anything.
Èmi wá lé ńjọ́ yẹn bá sọ fún ọmọ yẹn pé láti mo mà lẹ́nìkan tó ń wá kọ̀wé ó dẹ̀ ó ní kí n bá mu lọ sọ́fíìsì ó dẹ̀ gbà ló bá ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ so ọmọ yẹn ló wá máa rán sí mi tó bá ti di parí oṣù àfún ló wá ní kó fún mi máa gbà.
Nice.
Ìgbà tí wá bímọ lọmọ yẹn ṣọmọ pé ilé bàbá ọmọ yẹn ní ilé ọkọ mi ló bá lọ sọ fún pé mo máa bímọ ṣọmọ pọkùnrin wọlé wá kí mi yàtọ̀ nígbà tó wọlé wá kí mi ṣe lọkọ mi wọlé dé ló ní àwọn wo làwọn eléyìí mo ní àwọn àbúrò ìyá mi l'Abẹ́òkúta torí bàbá yẹn ká ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ pọ̀ ló ń ran kan.
Let me give you the gist of that. She said the husband, not the husband, the man that was trying to marry her, that wants to date her, he had an office. So he needed somebody who was educated to stay in that office. So she wasn't educated, so she had gotten her landlord's daughter, Lati, who was educated. So Lati now worked at the office, so the guy would now give Lati money to give to her all the time and send her a message. So all of a sudden now she gave birth to the child. After she now gave birth to the child, he came to visit. He came to see her and the child. And her husband also came. You know, the guy that she had the baby for, the baby father. Okay, the baby father came, and he was now looking on ground, everybody that was there, and was wondering, and who are these people that are here? And she said, it's her mother's younger brothers from Abẹ́òkúta. She said when she's finished saying it, she almost fainted. She fainted. She was bleeding. She had fainted.
ọkùnrin ṣàrùn owó ránṣẹ́ sí mi lóṣooṣù.
Every month he sent her money.
Gbà tọmọ mi wá póṣù mẹ́rin ó wá ní kí n wá sọ́fíìsì mo wá lọ wá ní nsìn báwo ni mo ṣe máa jáde ńbẹ̀ torí tí n bá tún lọ pẹ́ màá tún lóyún. Mo ní kí la máa wá ṣe ń sìn wá ń ké ó ní kí n má ké.
Wow. That was probably her real first true love. Okay, basically what happened was that she said he came back to her, and after 4 months of the child was now 4 months, he came back to her and he told her that he didn't want her to stay too long there because he doesn't want her to get pregnant again over there. And he knew that she was going through a lot in that marriage.
Mo ní tí n bá wálé mo ní mi mo fẹ́ ta oúnjẹ ní ìdẹ̀ tí rí bí tí máa ti ta ó ní kí n lọ wálé bá wálé nígbà tí mo filẹ̀ yẹn hàn ọjọ́ kejì ló bá mi kọ́ yàrá méjì síbẹ̀ tó gbé fíríjì wá tó gbé gòtírì tọ́ọ̀pù wá má bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tó oúnjẹ mo ń pẹ̀ràn mo dẹ̀ ń tà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbàtí Lábísí wá póṣù márùn.
What he basically did for her was that he asked her what does she want to do. You know, what type of trade would she want? And she said she wanted to cook. And he told her she found the land. He built a 2-bedroom apartment there for her, and she just started her life there.
Sha, bàtí bá bí sopo so márùn ní bá kó jáde nínú ilé ọkọ. Mo wá lọ gbalé sí Fade. Mo gbalé yẹn ní pọ́n mi 12, pọ́n mi 12. Mo sanwó oṣù 6. Bá wa lọ bá lọ́fíìsì pé mo máa ti rí lé pé ibi báyìí ó ní kí n pàdé òun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́la bá mu dínú ilé yẹn àṣílẹ̀kùn ó bá mi sùn jọ yẹn mo wá ń ké dákẹ́ àti bá mi sùn jọ yẹn mo padà wálé mi wá fara lẹ̀ mo ti bá bàbá ti bí jà mi fara pápò tiẹ̀ kí mi mọ́ àṣà wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wà lọ bá pàtó tó póṣù kan mo ní mo máa ti lóyún ó ní kí ni mo á ń jókòó ṣe ńgbà tá a ti gbalé mo ṣe kó lọ́lé ni níjọ́ tí mo á ń kẹ́rù mi díẹ̀díẹ̀ níjọ́ tí mo kó jáde bàbá àwọn ọmọ mi kànga wà níbi tí mo ti ń ta oúnjẹ ó kó sí kànga ńjọ́ náà yàtọ̀ yàtọ̀ yóò fẹ́ kàn mí o ti kẹ́rù lé bó ṣe ní kò ń kí mi báyìí ṣe ló kó sí kànga
ó kó sí àbí ó
já sí kànga torí bó ṣe.
She eventually, the man that now wanted to be with her, eventually she got pregnant for him. And when her other husband now saw that she was pregnant and that she was packing her stuff out of his house, he basically wanted to, you know, hold on to her and try to grab her. And he ended up falling into a well. Hello.
Ọmọ bí tí mo sá lọ, bá sá lọ sí police station l'Alákàrà.
So she went to the police station.
Gbà tó dé tí mo sá síbẹ̀ mi ò rí ó pẹ́ o bá ní kàn jẹ́ kí n máa lọ gbà tí máa débẹ̀ náà ní ìyá àbèjì ó kú oríire o ọkọ ẹ ti kó sí kànga o gbogbo èèyàn ló yọ o bá tún sá bí mi ṣe lọ́sọ̀mọ́ nìyẹn bá jókòó sí ilé tí ó gbà fún mi yẹn gbà tó dijọ́ kejì ó ti tún bẹ̀ ṣe kọ́bọ́ọ̀dù tó wà ní yàrá mi ti gbé sí bẹ́ẹ̀dì kò sí nǹkan tí má kó rà síbẹ̀ tán ó try.
So the guy now that she went to go and meet eventually, he furnished a place for her. He told her to come home. He furnished a place for her, took care of her.
Àwọn aládùúgbò bá ní tí n bá fẹ́ràn ara mi o kí n má wá sọ bí mi ṣe wá sọmọ ni bá jókòó sílẹ̀ títí mo fi bí àǹtí Kẹ́hìndé kékeré.
So aṣá lè sọ pé ilé ọkọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ni kò easy.
Kò yí sí rárá.
Kò easy.
Kò yí sí wàhálà pọ̀.
Kò easy.
Mo bá tún fóun o ló bá ń ta bá ń lọ o.
She basically, with that pregnancy that she had, she gave birth to twins. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ tó yẹ pé gbogbo nǹkan àmì ẹ kúrò nílé báwo lẹ ṣe pè lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn.
Ilé tálíkà.
Ẹ kúrò nílé tálíkà. Ẹ
bá lọ sí ilé olówó. Ilé olówó tún wá wọ́ọ̀sì ilé tálíkà lọ.
Ilé olówó tún wá wọ́ọ̀sì. So she went from the house of being poor to now being rich with this guy, but the rich home was even worse than where she was coming from. So, kí ló sustaining? What kept you there?
Sùúrù,
patience,
àti agbára,
and strength.
Torí mo ṣiṣẹ́ kò sí nǹkan tí mi ń tà. Mo wá ní èèyàn kan jọ náà, òun ni ìyá mi. Àgbékẹ́ ọmọ yìí.
So throughout throughout everything that she went through, the person that was literally there was her mother. Her mother sustained her.
Ìyá mi ọmọ olówó ọmọ Ajíbọ̀ṣe dáadáa. Ìyá mi ọmọ olówó dùrú bí ọmọ ṣọ́pọ̀ ju omi lọ.
Go mama.
Dorcas Adéyẹmọ.
So she's basically, you know, greeting her mother. The mother has been passed away now. I think it's... Yeah. So she stayed with her.
Bátún lóyún gbà tó pósù tíbejì pósù márùn la bátún lóyún Yusuf.
Oṣù márùn.
Oṣù méjì ló ti ń fẹ́ bá mi sùn.
So after the twins turned 5 months, then she got pregnant again with Yusuf. Yusuf, who was ID Noble.
Bátún lóyún Yusuf. Bábí yẹn.
After
that. Bàtí wá bí Yusuf. Bátún lóyún Yínká.
And then she got pregnant with Yinka, which
Bàtà lóyún Yínká ló bá ní àwọn ọmọ mò ń gbé tàfi ká kó wálé.
So she wanted all of them to come back home.
La bá lọ. Àtàtún délé ó tún ṣe dáadáa. Ọkọ mi Àkànjí. Ìgbèyí ọmọ Ojooru sọ̀rọ̀ o. Ìgbèyí olé. Abdullahi Àkànjí. Ọlọ́run àfọ̀rùnkẹ́. Láti mú kó délé ló bá lọ gbé kọ̀ǹtínà. Yẹn náà fi ń pè mí ní Ìyábọ̀dí.
Okay.
Gbé kọ̀ǹtínà síta.
When she now came home with the children, he now brought a container for her. The container, that's the reason why people know her as Iyabodi. Saint Fimbas was her house. Number 7. Number 7, number 9, Saint Fimbas. Big complex because Mama, ìyàwó mélòó ni bàbá yẹn ní ná? 7 wives. Ọmọ mélòó?
27.
27. So he owned a whole block for them to live in. Wow.
Yeah, mo wà ń pò kẹrin ṣáájú kan. Wà ń pò kẹrin.
Wow. Wow.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ wá lọ ńgbà tó yá.
Gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ.
Mo wá ń tà.
Ẹ wá ń tà.
Gbà tó ṣá ló bá ní òun ò fẹ́ mi mọ́. Ló bá pè mí pẹ̀lú ìyá mi sí Ìyábọ̀. Wá lóun ò fẹ́ wa mọ́.
Okay. So she now owned this restaurant. She was really selling because she was living on the street of St. Fimbas. If you're Nigerian, you know the St. Fimbas school at the time was one of the top schools at that time. So everybody St. Fimbas, this is Iyabodi. Okay, the body of the car that she was using the body of the container. She knew container. In new container that she was selling from is the reason why they call her Iyabodi. And eventually everything was going beautifully until later on the husband now said he was not interested in her and another one of their wives.
Ẹni tó ní ká jọ jáde ìyẹn ọmọ yẹn ní bí òun ti lọ wọ́n fún Festac ńjọ́ náà ìyẹn ya mi ṣe Ìyábọ̀ ló bá ní ya Kọ́yìndé àwọn ti rí ilé wọ́n ti fún òun ní Festac ìgbà yẹn náà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń kọ́ Festac pé wọ́n ti fún òun nílé èmi á mú kan òun náà mú kan mo á lọ sọ fún ìyá mi ní kí n má lọ pé ẹ̀sìn ilé ọkọ ó sàn ṣe ti ilé ìyá.
All right, let me tell you guys this story. Because she had a very, very good advisor, which was always her mother. When the husband told her to leave and she went to go tell her mom, her mother told her to sit right back down. She's going nowhere. You stay there. That the religion in her husband's house is even better than the one that you don't even know. So her friend, that they told both of them to go, that one, okay, can you share friend, Orogun, which is one of the wives. So she said both of them should go out. At the time, they were just building the Festac buildings. So she ended up getting one of the Festac apartments. And she told her mom, should she also go and get a Festac apartment? Her mom said, no, you stay right there in your husband's house.
Màá ní tó bá ti di December pé ilé tí mo fẹ́ gbé omi wà ńbẹ̀ ohun yẹn lóhun gbà tí máa wá tó wá yá wọn á lọ bá àna mi ẹ̀kọ́ bàbá mi náà tù mo ní ọkùnrin tó ní kí n jáde níbo ni mo fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ 9 gbé ilé tí ìyá ìgbà tó wá ya ilé tí ìyá mi ń gbé ìyá yẹn bá ní kán jáde pé àwọn ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ jù àwọn náà ń ba nǹkan jẹ́ nílé bí mo ṣe lọ gbalẹ̀ yẹn nìyẹn ilẹ̀ omi ni mo bá rà bá kojú lé mẹ́rin mo ṣe mú ìyá mi síbẹ̀ tèmi náà ń bèèrè dẹ̀ wá lọ náà mo ṣáà jókòó mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn.
So iṣẹ́ restaurant yẹn lẹ
oúnjẹ náà ni o.
So iṣẹ́ oúnjẹ yẹn lẹ fi ń take care àwọn ọmọ mẹ́sàn-án yẹn àti màmá àti ẹ̀yin náà. So ẹ wá rí kọ́ra mọ́ṣẹ́ yẹn gan.
àpòrẹ́ ti kán ni mò ń sè ń jọ kan.
Wow, so she cooks a bag of rice a day, not them small rice, them big ones.
Yes.
Big, huge rice. She cooks a bag of rice a day because she was doing very well in the
orogún mi tó ní ká jọ lọ òun lọ èmi ò lọ mo ṣáàjókòó nígbà tó wá pọ́dún mẹ́wàá tó ti ní kí n jáde tí mi jáde. Kábíyèsí Ọlọ́run. Ìyáálé ẹ̀ wá ń bá wa gbé ó ń fẹ́ yẹn ìyá sèkì. Yẹn bá lọ sílùú wọn ló bá sèkì. Gbà tó dé sèkì ṣá ó kú. Gbà tó kú náà bá lè mi ni mo pa.
So what we're going to do now is that this, I told you guys earlier, she's a 93-year-old woman. So her story, we can go on and actually sleep here. But what we're going to do is that we're going to take a quick break. So I want her to be able to explain to us females, wives, mothers, how to be able to stay strong and stay and sustain our husbands' homes. So we're going to take a quick break, okay? Thank you so much. We'll see you in a few minutes.